Hello everybody, this is Fuzzfinger and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII-2, and it's been quite a while actually since the previous episode where we killed the final encounters of the game, and some of you might be wondering why I've actually returned now, but the goal always was, as I've always been mentioning, to get as many of the fragments as possible and to complete as much of the optional content as possible. That's why we're already on 152 fragments. You can actually kill the final boss while only being on around 40. So we've done a lot already. I thought it'd be a shame to not get the last few. And with that said, I thought in this video we'd go for another optional 2 fragments, both of which are acquired through paradox endings, the first being in Herba 200 AF. In order to access this paradox ending, which is called Vanille's Truth, you need to complete the main storyline, which of course we've already done. If you haven't, then make sure you go back and do that. Turn this video off, go and watch the previous episode or whatever you might be up to in the game, and then come back once you've done it. Once you have completed the main storyline, make sure you get the paradox scope from Serendipity, and then that's a fragment skill which you should activate. Oh, the other thing you need as well is the gate seal in order to close this area from the Historia Crux. And you need the Encounters Gate Seal, which you can find in Yashas. I think it's Yashas Massif 01X AF. Yes, it is. It's 01X. So then you need to close the gates. And don't worry, you don't have to actually do the time trials, which we had to do here earlier, if you remember them. Basically, you can go straight to Caius on the map. He is highlighted at the schoolhouse, where we fought him earlier. So you might want to set your encounters on to less enemies, which is what I've done, if you just want to get there straight away. And the schoolhouse is just over here. Just skip a little bit of that trek since it is highlighted on the map, you can't really get lost. And you just need to go up to the top level, exactly the same as before, and then once you reach the waypoint you'll begin a little cutscene followed by the battle. In fact, it is the same cutscene. Now, I'm a little bit overpowered because we've got so many fragments. I've always mentioned the one problem with this game is that it's really easy to level up your characters. As long as they're both around 4,000 hit points, then this shouldn't be a problem at all. It might just last a little bit longer than it does for me. Although, if you have collected a load of other fragments like I have, then this will pretty much be a cakewalk as you would expect. Since this is a little bit of a walkthrough as well, and a guide, I am going to set my paradigms up, supposing that you aren't overpowered, just to help you out. And you're going to want to go for premeditation, for synergist and saboteur, and you want to begin this at the start of every round against Caius. In other words, at the beginning of the battle, and he does revive himself as well, so once he's done that, then use it again. Timing is important in this, so try not to have to resort to refreshing your buffs once they drop off. Just try and do as much damage as you can, and then just wait until he's revived before you start buffing again. The Smart Bomb paradigm will be your main paradigm for building up Caius' Chain Gorge. So your Ravagers can do the work while the Saboteur keeps the debuffs on him. He does do one ability called Body and Soul. When he does that, you'll want to switch immediately to the Attrition paradigm.
It looks like an Oracle drive.
Yeah.
Stop.
Sarah!
Lightning. Lightning. Sarah, I'm sorry.
Hey, the apologies can wait. We got a wedding to plan, right? Right? Like, come on. What do you say? Lightning, I swear to you, I will make her happy.
I believe you.
My memories. They're real.
Anyway, as I was saying, once he casts Body and Soul, switch to Attrition, and use Null to cast his spell. quickly as well. And then your monster and Sarah can heal and tank the damage. At least that's the idea. As soon as Caius has been staggered, you just want to switch straight to the Cerberus paradigm, basically for high damage output. And I don't think there's really any other tactics in this fight that you need to be aware. As I mentioned, there's a good chance that you probably, if you've been following this walkthrough anyway, really highly leveled by now, so... Even so, you don't want to underestimate this battle. It can be a challenge if you just ignore everything and just don't concentrate. Even if you are a high level party, debuffing Caius is really important. Because basically he does heal, and you need to reduce those heals. Even if you do a lot of damage, if he spams his heals, you could be in a situation where there's a kind of stalemate, and the battle just goes on and on. I have actually seen this happen, so even as a high level party, you definitely want to employ a Saboteur. If you do get Caius staggered before you switch to Cerberus, you might want to use your monster's Feral link, just to get his chain bonus higher before switching. In fact, I would highly recommend doing that. And that, I think, is all you need to know in order to beat this boss, and collect the Vanille's Truth Fragment. So there we have it, that's Caius defeated, and a nice 5-star rating for it. And that would unlock the Paradox ending in the Historia Crux. As usual, unfortunately, these seem to be highly copyrighted by Square. I cannot show you because that disables the video on YouTube.
The effects rippled down the timeline.
But at least I can't spoil it for you either.
Sarah and Noel see that things are not as they were before. Twisted mockeries of humans sprawl lifeless among the buildings. The scars of war that should have long since faded appear fresh and raw. Is this the world of the past, or is it the reflection of someone's memory? Sarah hears a faint voice calling her and sets off to investigate.
And then, obviously, after the cutscene, you collect the fragment. And 10,000 CP if you actually still need that. But that's the first of 2 fragments we're going to be getting in this video. The second, which is also from a Paradox ending. Oh, by the way, before we move on, don't forget to open the gate again, just to reset things back to how they were. Anyway, the second Paradox ending takes place in Augusta Tower 200 AF. This is the place where you have to rearrange rooms and do those as certain puzzles. It was quite annoying, if you might remember. And there's a little bit of that as well today. We need to basically get to the top floor. But it's not that difficult, to be honest. You can pretty much skip through all the cutscenes if you've already done this place, and you would have if you're coming back to do this Paradox ending. So I'm just going to do that.
We need to find out exactly where we are.
Basically, the aim is to fight Proto-Falsi Adam. We fought him earlier, he was a little bit weaker, but now he's in his strongest form. And in order to reach him, we have to go to the top floor.
Let me guess. We just got locked.
So start by activating all these computers until you find the correct one.
Thank you for access. Welcome. The Protofile C project was begun in Outer perimeter now accessible.
We're free to leave the room now, right?
So after the mini cutscene there, we want to just follow the map round to the next room with the computer terminals that we need to activate. So just have to get my bearings a little bit. If you remember, all these people are just sort of copies, aren't they? Duplicates.
You see all these people around.
And the room's just around here, it's not hard to find. And it's the same rubbish again you have to do.
Thank you. Welcome to the...
Of course, you already know the password since being here earlier. It's 9261 regardless.
Not again. It's so frustrating.
What's wrong?
I'm missing some of my memories.
All areas now accessible.
Again, you can skip through all those mini cutscenes if you wish to. Once you have control of Niall and Sarah, you can make your way over to the waypoint at the central elevator.
That was Caius, right?
Unfortunately, you do have to repeat some of the story elements that we had to do earlier.
Caius.
I'll keep them in this video though for you, I won't skip them out just in case you've forgotten how to do it.
We have to be careful. This could be a trap.
There must be some way we can get...
So activate this switch over here.
Why don't we just try the switch?
The circuits are tangled within...
Just a sec. If a key from another time is...
Remember, for this to work, you have to have the access key from the 300 AF version of this area. That'll raise this little platform here, which will give us access, hopefully, to the centre. We can skip that.
She does look like Alyssa, but it can't be her. Let's find out.
You do have to speak to Alyssa here in order to progress.
Are all the people who work here the same as you? Yes. Everyone is a duplicate. An artificial life form.
And now we have access to the middle, which is a good thing. Just pop on over. You will need to speak to Alicia again. So we haven't had to do a whole lot in order to get moving, but it was a little bit of repetition.
If a person is created artificially, do they still have a spirit?
Now Alicia's going to get us moving, and as before, you might remember when this elevator starts moving up, we have to engage in certain battles. At this point in the game, they will literally be a formality, nothing more, nothing less. But they are still compulsory in order to keep on moving. Skip all that, we don't want to see all that again. Now fortunately you don't have to do anything here apart from examine the switch. That will get us moving once again.
This is great. The artificial intelligence that killed Hope and his team.
After the cutscene, you can just activate the switch yet again, and that will take you to the top floor, with the odd battle or two maybe on the way, just for good measure. Despite the scary music, the battles are very easy at this stage in the game. When you reach the top level, you will engage in the toughened version of Protofile C Adam, So you might just want to sort your paradigms out here. It's not really a tough fight, despite the fact the boss does have quite a lot of hit points, over 500,000. But it is just a case of using exactly the same tactics we had before. Take out the manipulators, which are kind of his ads, and then just build his chain gorge up as quickly as possible before taking it down. Taking his health down. To be honest, everybody hates the Augusta Tower areas, but I don't mind them that much.
Are you on your own?
I brought you this.
Why? What you...
And after that cutscene, the fight will begin, so I hope you're ready, because if you're not, it's a little bit too late now. And as I mentioned, it is pretty much the same fight as before. You can see his manipulators. Very easy to take down at this level, since I'm a little bit overpowered. And now we can actually concentrate on the boss himself. With a 5-star rating, not too challenging at all. And that will unlock the next Paradox ending on the Historia Crux. At least it should do. There it is.
The Proto-Foul Sea reconstructs itself over and over, reaching back from the future to manipulate reality. After an exhausting battle in a virtual arena, Sarah and Noel finally neutralize the seemingly invincible construct. The paradox is resolved, and the artificial space-time created by the AI appears to dissolve. But from amid the ensuing stillness, a cold gaze falls upon the victors.
Again, I would like to show you the paradox ending itself, but I can't. Once it's completed, you get the fragment along with another 10k CP. And you might want to just open the gate again to reset things back and regain full access to the Historia Crux. And there we have it, another 2 fragments added to our collection. We now have 154 out of 160. I hope this video has been informative and helpful for you. If so, please do like the video, rate it up, and maybe subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I've been FuzzFinger. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time.